I preach all the time to get your pre-orders in when it comes to comics, and as you can see by these 3 books, it definitely pays to beat FOC. So let's break down the new comics from this week and last week and go over why these books are dominating the aftermarket. Like I said in the intro, we are going to be breaking down why those books were dominating the aftermarket and why it pays to get your FOC, alongside going over the new variants and things like that. But as you can see from my background, this is just a small taste of my new comic setup. I got my Spawn wall, I got some original art, some signed stuff, some crazy things, but this is just the start. So we're gonna have a full room tour coming shortly. Just need to get a few more things hung up, but this is the first time it's featured in the video, so hopefully you guys enjoy. But we're going to start it off with some, like I said, comics from last week, comics from the week prior. Like I said, I'm always a week behind, but we're going to kick it off right off the bat with some Marvel. So we have Knoll, issue number 1. I'm super happy that this dude is back. I actually got the John Boy Myers variant from Davis Writer as well. But Knoll, one of my favorite bad guys, villains from the past few years, and I think Marvel absolutely did him dirty. So I've already read this. Good story, great artwork, and I'm very excited to see where Knoll keeps going. So hopefully Marvel pushes him forward. Speaking of Marvel, like I said, I only got 3 Marvel books. I'm only reading a couple books, but this one, out of everything, Infernal Hulk, got the Clayton Crane cover, definitely one that I recommend. Infernal Hulk has been crazy. I jumped off of the last Hulk run, but Infernal Hulk, the artwork, the storytelling, hopefully it continues because it is an absolute banger. And like I said, just for me, I am not reading Marvel. Marvel is basically on the bottom of my pull list, and they have not been doing very good this year or all of last year. And then we do have the wraparound J. Scott Campbell. I actually have the short box to match, and I got the poster for this, so it was cool. I picked up a bunch of the variants, but this is the wraparound with all of the J. Scott Campbell covers. So only 3 Marvel books to start off with, and now we're going to jump into some DC, and I have some fire absolute books to show you guys. One book I am not reading, I'm not really collecting or anything. I'm all in with the Absolute Superman, but this cover, Superman, what is this, 34? Man, the anime vibes, the Dragon Ball Z, he's going like Super Saiyan with all the aura around him. I had to put this on my pull list. Actually, this translates to Dark Side in Japanese, so if you do not collect these, I highly recommend it, because these, I expect there to be more coming out. And if you are an anime fan, like I said, I love My Hero, Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball Z, so much anime I grew up with. Had to get this one, and this one was hitting like 20 to 50 bucks on the aftermarket. Even a week later, it's still like 30 or 40 bucks. So again, definitely recommend checking out your pull list, checking out FOC, checking out Key Collector, Cover Price, whatever you need to do, whatever apps you need to do to stay up to date with your pull list. I use League of Comic Geeks the most. That way I'm about 2 or 3 months on my polls. So again, shout out to ABX for always hooking me up. Next, let's move on to another series I'm not reading, Supergirl. Me and my girlfriend, we're cat lovers. We have 2 cats. We love the Chrissy Zulo variants. I got the Supergirl, and then the Crypto, and then I don't even know the Super Cat's name. Don't even know it, because like I said, I'm not reading Supergirl whatsoever. But now you have them all in it, and it completes the collection. So I wanted to get those variants. And then we have 2 more little back issues of DC, and then we got some Absolute. Mark Spears, been sitting on this one for a while, just haven't picked it up from my LCS, just was behind for like a week or 2, just catching up on things. But this is what Teen Titans issue number 30. You guys know me, Mark Spears fanboy, completionist as much as I can. So happy to have that one. And then sticking with the theme of the video, another variant that blew up. I'm just going to flip this bad boy, Nightwing 134. Anytime there's a sexy DC booty cover with this guy, abs, anything, the ladies, the dudes, we go crazy for it. So make sure you pick these up. If you ever see any of the Nightwing covers, I say it all the time on my Whatnot stream, some of the older Dan Mora stuff goes absolutely insane, like 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks and higher. But again, I saw these abs of steel on this boy, so I had to pick it up. And like I said, just going to throw it, flip it, trade bait, things like that, because I'm not reading the series. And then a last random DC before we move into the absolute stuff. DC Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2. Fun story. What issue is this? What are we on? 5, 6? No, we are on 6 now. I lose track because it's like a month to 2.5 months between each issues. I hate when books do that. They just lose steam, and then at that point, I would rather have just waited for this to come in trade. But again, fun story. If you're into like crazy kaiju, Superman turns to the size of Godzilla, fights King Kong, Godzilla. Read volume 1. Check this one out. Definitely recommend. As you can see behind me, that's just a taste of some of my Absolute collection. I have been all in on Absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, the works since the beginning, and now we are on Absolute Batman issue number 16. I love that they are crossing over. Again, another good read. In my opinion, Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, there's no best for me each week. Sometimes Absolute Batman is the best, sometimes Absolute Wonder Woman is the best, sometimes Absolute Superman is the best. So it just kind of depends, but these storytellings are peak and on point. And then we had to get the other one. I think this is the Frank Cho variant. So I only picked up 2 of these, so not going crazy on those. But like I said, shout out to ABX, Augusta, Georgia. If you're ever in the area, check them out. I have the 1 in 25s and the 1 in 50s on pull list forever for Absolute Batman. So this is issue number 16. I get the 1 in 25s for $15, and I think the 1 in 50s are like 20 or 25. But again, compared to what some of these go for on the aftermarket, fire cover. And I'm just trying to get used to the camera angles and the lightings. I still need to get blackout curtains, but I got tons of artwork all over in the background. So you're going to see more, like I said, in that room tour. But we're just going to keep moving on with the Absolute Superman. We have Absolute Superman, what are we on? 16 now. Fighting that boy, Hawkman. Love that cover, man. We haven't seen him since Absolute Evil. So definitely excited. And if you read the last issue, Absolute Superman, it was crazy. Definitely an emotional story. And then we have Absolute Wonder Woman with Zatanna. And if you don't know, it's not just Zatanna in this book. We actually have the Absolute Suicide Squad coming. So definitely cool. So I grabbed the main cover, but had to get the stiletto cover. Love this. What is this? Gilliam Marsh or Stephen Marsh, I do believe. Yeah. Love the stilettos. And like you can see in the front cover, I just love the Zatanna. That's why I love Absolute, because it's so different, so fresh, and so unique. But I love the clothing, love the style choices and everything. And then we had, you know, my boy, Daniel Warren Johnson. Had to get the reprint Virgin foil. I love. I got a bunch of the variants. You guys are going to see, I don't do politics, but I do stand against love over hate always. So definitely stand for the messages for Daniel Warren Johnson and some of the other creators. So now we're going to get into some of the big books of the week, dorks, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to go into why it pays to pay attention to your FOC. We're going to start with this one. If you did not read from Jason Aaron, the Bug Wars series from last year, I definitely recommend picking up it in trade. This is the one-shot annual of the Spider Witch special. Bug Wars was dope. Super phenomenal. Definitely, like I said, pick it up in trade if you can't find the floppies. But this is the not safe for work variant. It even says Spider Sex variant. You know you want to open it, you sick bastards. So man, like I said, if you haven't seen this cover, very naughty, risque. Check it out online. I'm not going to pop it up on here or anything. I am going to open this and read it because it's the cover I wanted. But I collect the Bug Wars, and I'm happy to have put this on my FOC because out of all the covers, they were okay. But this was the one variant that I took a chance on, and I'm happy to have it because, again, when this came out last week, it was like 50, 60 bucks. It's still going for like 20, 30, 40 bucks. So you guys know me. I'm not a big person to buy things on the aftermarket. If I miss out on something, I'll wait for it to come down, but I'm happy to have that one. Now this book has just taken people by storm. And again, you guys just are not following, not paying attention, not backing the right creators, in my opinion. Everybody is so DC, Marvel, and all that kind of stuff heavy. This is Dorks issue number 1, cover A. You guys know it. You love it. It's blowing up the internet. I called this out about a month or 2 ago. I put this on my pull list. I even have the 1 in 25 Otley. Our shop didn't get enough for the 1 in 50, so I don't have that one. But I knew this book was going to be popular. I did not know this was going to be like a $50, $60, $70 issue. And then the Ryan Otley being like a $200 or $300 issue. I might have to let go of this. This thing is crazy. But man, I knew this was going to be popular because it's by the same artist that does I Hate Fairyland, Brett Bean. And I know his fan base is huge. It's like me, Mark Spears, Spawn, we're a cult. We love what we love. It's never going to change, and we show out for it. And it's the same thing with all our I Hate Fairyland. Brett Bean is a phenomenal creator, phenomenal artist, super nice guy. So if you've never checked out his stuff out, I buy the I Hate Fairylands in the hardcovers because they're cheap. You can get them on Scotty's shop for like 20 bucks here and there. So I collect that, but his stuff is super fantasy. So I was super excited about this. Super excited. I did not know it was going to go crazy. Like I said, this is like 50 or 60 bucks right now. So absolutely insane. So I'm super happy to have that one. And then I want to take this one out because, like I said, I read all my comics, even if they're expensive. But this baby, the Ryan Otley, I want to take it out because most people don't even know it is the wraparound. So the wraparound Ryan Otley, I'm going to put this in the bag while I handle it. But I got this for 15 bucks. Like I said, I get the 1 in 25s for 15 bucks. But I checked right before this video. One sold yesterday or the day before, $300. That's raw. That was a raw sale. So I'm a Ryan Otley. I have like 2 short boxes of Ryan Otley with Invincible and Battle Beast and everything else and some of his older stuff. But I might have to let this one go. That is just an insane price. But I tell you guys all the time, pay attention to people on Instagram, pay attention to the list and everything, but make sure you're paying attention to the creators and artists and everybody who are really reading. I have Wednesday pull list every single week. A lot of the creators out there don't even have pull list on the thing. So they report on things after it blows up, but I try and help you guys stay ahead. So like I said, at the end of the day, I spec on good reads, I spec on fun stuff, and like first appearances, random things. You might get lucky, but they're not always good reads. Happy to have these, but let me know what you guys think of dorks in the comment section below. Did you get one or not? And now we have the bread and butter of the video. Image, Independent, Boom, huge stack of that. You guys know it always dominates my polls. All right, in no particular order, we're just going to start off with Hello Darkness. I think this is issue like 11 or 12. I'm not reading the series. It's all like anthologies, but I am collecting all the Jenny Frison covers because they're just phenomenal. I'm a huge Jenny Frison collector. I'm up to like 2.5, almost 3 short boxes at this point, but her horror stuff is some of my favorites. So I'm collecting all those. Happy to have it. And then we are on issue in number 26 of Void Arrivals. I got both covers. I got the main, and then is this no, this is issue number 25. I missed out on this last week, but I got the other foil, the wraparound die cut, so I wanted to get this one to match. But then we are on the newest issue. So we're on part 2 of the Quintessent War. Part 2 of 6. We're going to see what happens. There's a lot going on in Void Arrivals that I think are going to have huge ripple effects in the Energon universe, Transformers, G.I. Joe. So we're definitely going to see, and I've always been saying Void Rivals is kind of like the lore, the glue, and kind of like the deep story that moves the Energon universe along. Another phenomenal read that I was trying to tell you guys for months and months. Exquisite Corpses, issue number 8. I already read the polybagged version. You know, my guy, Rascal Randy, picked him at the beginning, and now this is optioned and everything, blowing up again. I have the Ash Can, I have the One Per Stores, everything. Another series that I've been on from the start and absolutely love it. And then, like I said, there's some IDW, Boom Studios, and things mixed. Godzilla issue number 7. I've been saying for a long time now, Godzilla, I'm a huge kaiju fan. I got a whole shelf of Godzilla stuff over there. I got some Godzilla original artwork and posters and all that kind of stuff. But he's kind of rough, unless you go pick up some trades or omnibuses and some of the older stuff. Some of the newer Godzilla just have been all super like kid and everything. I'm an adult, man. I'm 36 years old. I need something a little bit more mature and not so like kid friendly. But man, Godzilla, if you're not checking this out, this has a bunch of anime vibes and artwork, and it is very gritty and dark. Like they just killed Godzilla in the last issue. Next, it's cool that it's coming out, but if you guys don't know, Final Boss, issue number 3 under the Image imprint, this already came out years and years ago. This was a big Whatnot release. All the issues, I've already read all this, so I know how the story is going to end. I have some of the variants from the original release, but I'm repicking it up just to have it under the Image imprint because I'm a big video game guy, and Final Boss is dope. If you haven't read it, pick it up. But again, just very confusing why it's re-releasing, but just like I said, if you're into Final Boss, these aren't like the first prints or anything. This originally came out all over Whatnot with tons and tons of variants. Speaking of variants, Feral, what are we on? Issue 20. I think we're getting the silent issue next, and it's supposed to be crossing over with Stray Dogs. Love, love, love. If you've never read this, check out issue number 9, Keyboard Cats. Both of my cats are actually in the back of the issue, and I actually got a sketch cover from Trish Forstner. So big, big, big Feral Stray Dogs fans. Like I said, absolutely amazing, and I've collected all of the horror homage posters, so definitely check them out. Another book I highly recommend if you've never read 8 Billion Genies or anything. Phenomenal story. This is the Lucky Devils, Charles Soule, Ryan Brown. Same artwork, same vibe, Cursed Worlds, 8 Billion Genies, everything. I guess I got the Youngbloods homage. I'm not really a big Rob Liefeld fan, but I guess this was like cover A or cover B. So happy to have it. Lucky Devils, definitely check it out. If you're into artwork, into a quick read, Skin Breakers is great. It's issue number 5, David Finch. This is just a visual treat. You could spend like 5 minutes just reading it, or you can spend 20 minutes just looking at all the artwork. Double page spreads, everything. David Finch, I think he took like 7 or 8 years just to draw this whole comic book. So I'm collecting all of the face variants, and like I said, Robert Kirkman, he's writing it. You got to check out anything Robert Kirkman touches because you never know if it's going to be optioned. And like I said, Skin Breaker is definitely something I recommend. And then speaking of optioned, we got Redcoat coming to live action, and now we have Geiger issue number 20. I've been trying to tell you guys, man, Ghost Machine is on point with everything. You have Geiger and the Northerner crossing over. So if you're not checking out Ghost Machine, Geiger, Redcoat, Rook, Hyde Street, those are the ones I recommend. And if you have some little ones, Hornsby and Halo and some of the other things like that are great reads too. But anything under the Ghost Machine imprint, definitely pick it up. Last few books, we have Capes, issue number 3. I know these are all reprints, but after issue number 4, just so you guys are aware, it's all going to be new story, everything. Robert Kirkman has stated that, and there's going to be new Invincible first appearances. So pick up the Capes. I had to pick up, you know, that kind of cover. So I'm not going to say it. YouTube, it doesn't like it. And then we're going to finish, what do we got? A couple Spawns and Walking Dead Deluxe. 2 weeks ago, I picked up 3 issues of all the Scotty Young covers because I'm a Scotty Young collector, I'm a Spawn collector, and I always like to have one. You never know if it's going to be crazy. The Spawn 250 Scotty goes for like $100 to $200. So why not get a couple of them for cover price? And then we have my guy Bjorn Bendez, Scorched issue number 47. I love Spawn. I read everything Spawn, but if you're not reading Spawn, definitely don't recommend checking it out because it is too tough to read. For new readers, it is hard because you got to collect Gunslinger, Scorch, Spawn, King Spawn, all of them because they're all tied in. Same thing, Gunslinger issue number 50, just another connecting cover. I'm getting all the Puppeteer Lee ones, so I can't believe we're on issue number 50 already. So wild. And now we're going to finish the longest running joke on my channel. If you know, you know. We are on Walking Dead Deluxe issue number 128, and here's 127. I've collected this since the beginning. Never read a single issue. I didn't know trades and omnibuses were a thing when I first started off collecting. Got about 20 or 30 issues into this because I've never read the original run, and now we're here. So I'm just going to wait for the series to finish. I'll have the entire run from start to finish, and then I can dive in. So that's everything. I've been waiting on this package for a week or two now. You know, it was a big boy, a couple weeks, expensive guy, but man, big, big, big shout out to ABX for always making sure I get my variants, get my things like that. If you guys do not have an LCS near you, I cannot recommend enough looking online. There's so many options just to take care of you for your books because you guys always need to get your comics. But at the end of the day, make sure you drop some comments. Check us out on Whatnot. Check us out on Instagram. Details in the description. MegaCon, all the cons are just a few weeks away. Man, March is going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. So make sure you guys are following and subscribing. You know, New York, San Diego will have all the backstage access, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys are staying tuned. But hopefully you guys have a great week. Talk to me in the comments. Leave me some stuff. Like, share, subscribe. But most importantly, I hope you guys always find what you're looking for. Thank you.